It's the 9th of January 2007. Steve Jobs is holding the iPhone, a device that is going to inevitably enter our lives. He was aware of the revolution to come, but something happened that was outside his initial view. People start playing with smartphones. Fruit Ninja, Cut the Rope, Angry Birds. These little games sold millions of copies, showing to everybody the existence of the mobile market. An unreasonably frenzy invaded the video game industry. Many pointed the mobile market as the next big thing, the future of gaming. At the time the first mobile games were established in the market and everybody wondered about their potential, there was a secondary effect in motion. The video game industry was expanding outside its borders, but it was doing so by attracting a massive new audience used only to mobile games. The classic console and PC audience never really got into mobile gaming, with only sporadic interest or casual train gaming. So rather than attracting the core gaming audience, mobile developers aim at the newfound players, creating experiences suited for such players. Those small initial games were supposed to be only a glimpse of what was possible, but with nobody following the initial path, the years passed and the mobile market was flooded with games. Rare pairs still rise to the surface, but the free-to-play model have taken full control. The hype for the potential of this market died out. Very few still care about actual video games on mobile devices. The situation is frozen and it looks far from changing. But what if the next chapter of this story has already been written, but it was just too subtle to be noticed? The 6th of February 2018 was the release date of a game that tried to change the status quo. The protagonist of this video, Dandara. The game reached a modest success. It's beautiful, unique and solid. But what I want to talk about is how the game presents itself, as a product rather than a game, because it didn't follow the rules of game development at all. It's hard to believe that it was the first and only one to challenge such rules, but I remember the first time I saw the game, the difference was obvious and clear. It's probably something only game developers can notice, and only few of them. I can even imagine that Longhead House, the developer of Dandara, was not totally aware of what they were doing. As I said before, there are two gaming audiences. The one that grew with mobile games that favor accessibility and small free experiences, and a second one that comes from a console or PC experience. For this second group, the mobile market mostly offers ports of known games that are often stretched too much to fit the touch interface. It always has been hard to find the middle ground among these two, until Dandara, because it places itself, on purpose, right in the middle of these two audiences. Dandara has the accessibility of a mobile game, but the quality, care and even the business model of a console or PC game. It presents itself as the typical game the core gaming audience is used to, but on a mobile device. Dandara is the kind of game everybody were expecting to follow the first wave of mobile games. It's an example of the kind of games we can have on mobile devices. The made-up term to describe Dandara is device agnostic, in the sense that it's not favoring any device and it's allowing the player to play where he or she prefers. An even better term would be input agnostic. Dandara can be played correctly and as originally intended on a touch device, with controller or with mouse and keyboard, consequently increasing the target audience for the game too. This doesn't mean that all games should be playable on a smartphone, but it's establishing a game on mobile devices as one of the platforms developers should aim at. By keeping in mind also the touch input when designing a game, very few changes are needed to allow many games on mobile devices, in particular with the computational power of the latest smartphones and tablets. What happens instead is the console and PCs are considered as the target platform even for projects that do not need the input complexity of the computational power of such platforms. Mismatching the right platform for a game is harmful for the game itself. Players are starting to notice, and the absence of a game on a platform will soon stop to be accepted without criticism. We are moving toward an experience with gaming that is always more flexible. When cloud savings and closed platforms are going to be the standard, players will be able to play the same game on any device, possibly with the help of services like Stadia. Dandara is already prepared for such occasion. I can't think of many games that will be able to adapt so easily. Can you think of another input agnostic game? Let me know in the comments. Thank you for watching.
I'm an artist right now. Well, how do I scroll through my list of artists? How do I do this? I just take my finger and I scroll. That's it.